What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be making rice with gandules and stewed chicken with beef sausage or hot dogs. Yes, I know it sounds weird, but my mother-in-law, she makes her Filipino stewed chicken and she's put hot dogs in it. And it tasted so good. So I said, let me try that in the traditional Puerto Rican stewed chicken. And it actually tastes amazing. Don't knock it till you try it. But let's get into it. First, I started by adding olive oil. These are pre-made sofrito that I make. If you guys want the recipe for that, comment down below and let me know and I'll make a video on that. But what I do is I freeze them in these little pods and then I store them in the freezer and I put it like in a Ziploc bag or whatever. So I add the sofrito into the olive oil and I cook that down, and then I mix it up. I let it cook for a little while, just to get all the flavors like nicely cooked into everything, into the olive oil. I let everything simmer. I mix it for a couple minutes. And then I add a packet of sazon. Put that in there, mix it up. Then I add some tomato sauce, a whole can of tomato sauce. Mix that up as well. Let it sit and simmer for about 5 minutes. And then I add my gandules. Let that sit in there so the gandules could cook a little bit, because I don't like the gandules hard. I let them cook a little while first before I add my rice into the pot. Then I add my rice. I washed it maybe 3 or 4 times and add it into the pot. I cook it on medium, cover it. This is an old spoon trick that we did. That my mom taught me to do, to make sure that there's enough water to rice ratio. And then I cover that. I simmer that on about 4. And then once the water starts going down, then I uncover it. I mix it again. And then I lower it down all the way to low for 30 minutes. Now I'm doing my chicken. I sear the chicken to let the flavors set into the chicken. I forgot to say that I seasoned the chicken with adobo, garlic powder, pepper, oregano, and fresh garlic. And I simmer that for about, I would say, 10 minutes, maybe 5 on each side. Okay, so this is when I mix, when I see the water goes down on the rice and I mix it. Make sure to mix everything around, and then I make sure it's not completely dry. Like, it has to be a little bit of water in the pot still. And then I cover that and put it on low. Then I also add a packet of sazon to this. Mix that all up. Let the flavors cook in. Add a can of tomato sauce. Mix that in as well. And then this is some leftover sofrito that I had in the fridge that I completely forgot that I had. So I used that instead so that I could finish that off. And then I mix everything in. You add my hot dogs. I'll show you which hot dogs on the top of the screen. I use or the beef sausage, which looks like the kielbasa, but it's beef sausage. You can add that as well. Oof, that looks so good. Then I add a little bit of potatoes. Let that cook in as well. I put it in the beginning. And then a packet of the chicken bouillon or the little squares you can use as well. And then I mix that all in. I cook the potatoes with that because usually potatoes take a little long to cook. And I like my potatoes like very tender. And then I add enough water just to cover the meat. Then I cover that. I simmer, let that cook on low. And then I add about 3 or 4 bay leaves into the pan. And cover that and cook it on low, medium to low, for about 30 minutes to an hour, depending. I like it really, really tender. And then I add my onions into it. I cook it for about 30 minutes. Then I add my onions and my peppers, and then I cook it for another 10 to 15 minutes. Alright guys, so there you have it. That is A1. You guys definitely need to try this recipe. If you want, give it a try. Let me know how you like it. And it's time to eat. Bye!